Intersubjective yoga is a really fundamental part of my contribution to the evolution of post-traditional spirituality, and on the becoming dimensions of my retreats, what I do is we go from really spending most of the time sitting very quietly as individuals to coming together in groups. And in these groups, I teach people a certain methodology, which is I ask people not to speak about anything personal, to dwell on these very big metaphysical and philosophical questions that I'm bringing up. And I teach people a method of learning how to listen to each other, right? Because we're not very good listeners. We're usually very much too invested in what we already think and what we already believe. And what happens on these retreats is that within really 1, 2, or 3 days, individuals start to feel a different or deeper dimension of their own self begin to come to the front or come to the surface. And when the separate self or the ego or the narcissistic self sense falls into the background, what comes into the foreground is what I call the authentic self. And the authentic self is the experience of unself-conscious, liberated spontaneity. When you have that experience of unself-conscious, liberated spontaneity, you find access to a creative potential at the level of thought and the level of intuition and the level of engagement that is utterly and remarkably transformative. And then you realize, oh, this is what it's like to be a liberated human being. This is what it could be like to be a liberated human being. And even better than that, when others within the same context are having the same experience of liberated awareness, this freedom from self-consciousness, and the experience of awakened inspiration that's free from fear, you find yourself engaging with other people from a completely different part of yourself that you may have never known before. And so when people have that kind of experience, they really know what's possible for human beings and between human beings. And of course, one of as I said earlier on, the big question for me for this well over a quarter century that I've been teaching is I wanted to bring the experience of enlightened awareness into the realm of action and intersubjective between individuals, intersubjective engagement, or this intersubjective yoga, because most of the time the experience of enlightened awareness happens within the context of the unique individual sitting quietly by themselves or going for a walk in nature or having some kind of experience that exists within the realm of their own subjective experience. But what I've done is come up with this intersubjective yoga that gives people an experience of having this kind of experience of awakening in such a way where you're now able to engage with others within this experience of being free from doubt, being free from self-consciousness, being free from self-concern, and experience this awakened, liberated inspiration. And when you share that with other people and they share that with you, and you're in a back and forth, and you realize, well, this is a completely different kind of human experience, one I never could have imagined before.